The NFL draft is just 48 hours away. And we got to talk about the New York Jets. Should they draft Arvell Reese or should they look more towards David Bailey? And then we got to talk about Keldric Faulk out of Auburn. Is he a hidden gem in this draft? And then Justin Jefferson speaks out about Kyler Murray joining the Minnesota Vikings quarterback room. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you know you got to hit the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, football fans? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by Steve-O. We got the draft just a couple days away before we can see what players your team is going to select over that weekend. It's going to be lit. But hey, Steve-O, what's the word?
It's good, folks.
Man. So for the New York Jets, man, they got big decisions right now, and it seemed like a lot of mocks are trying to shift their train of thought and make their final push to put out the best quote-unquote mock draft. Recently, we seen Arvell Reese be the player that the Jets will select, but lately, as of last night, I'm starting to see David Bailey enter the conversation of who the Jets should draft at number 2. Steve-O, we looked at both players. In your personal opinion, do you believe the Jets' best bet is to draft pass rusher David Bailey?
I think so, honestly. Because when you look at the two, because I think the quintessential two that's gonna come down to is between him and Reese. And I think the difference between the two is Reese is more of a projection. Reese is more of a if we figure him out and we get him to work on the things that he's predominantly not as good at, which is getting to the quarterback, then he can become that absolute star that everybody think he could do because he's a physical specimen. Mm-hmm. We all seen his numbers at the combine and what he could do, but what he's good at is possibly right now just he's really pretty good at stopping the run, and he can play a little bit off ball linebacker if you need him to. But what the difference between him and Bailey is, I think if you're going at 2, you're going to get somebody that can get after the quarterback. And that's one thing David Bailey definitely can do. Man. When it comes between the two, David Bailey is the guy that's he's a pure rusher at the quarterback position, at the edge position. So, but the thing with David Bailey is right now at both standards, he's more of a one-trick pony because if he ain't getting to a quarterback, he pretty much ain't doing anything else. But he can get after that quarterback. So based on what I think in this situation, based on the D-line and the defense they still kind of have, I think David Bailey makes just a little bit more sense. I don't necessarily trust this defensive staff to possibly get the best out of Reese. Not saying that they can't, but they just don't have no history of doing it, especially being so young in their regime. So, yeah, I think if I'm the Jets, I'm going to get David Bailey.
I agree with you. And I think that when people look at Arvell Reese, they look at a linebacker that they can turn into a quote-unquote Michael Parsons. That's how I look at it because how physically talented he is and how gifted he is. Did get 6.5 sacks last season, you know what I'm saying, and 10 tackles for loss, which is pretty damn solid. But to your point, I don't know if the Jets can go out there and, let's say, mold somebody to, be great. You know what I'm saying? We just can't trust them right now. This is a team last year in the New York Jets that went an entire season without an interception.
No turnover. Well, I thought it was a no turnovers, not an interception. Yeah.
Not an interception.
And a defensive-minded head coach.
With a defensive-minded head coach. That is absurd. So, to your point, I think that you go out there and you get a guy that's a little bit more for sure, especially because you also traded away Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner last year. So you need somebody that has that could potentially be he will be a day one starter. Like it's no
Both
question
of them,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
both of them will be, but I think you can plug him a lot easier into your scheme more
Yeah.
so than Arvell Reese, in my opinion. David Bailey, this man had 14 and a half sacks and 19 and a half tackles for loss. That is absurd, bro. That is
You
crazy.
relentless, bro.
Yeah, man. So he definitely needs some more development, in his game. Like all these players will, have to make some adjustments and improve their game. But I think that the safer pick is that absolutely David Bailey for the New York Jets, bro. Like you can't screw this up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
I say the
absolutely
safe
can.
pick for the Jets because a lot of people will argue that Reese is the safer pick because he's the more well-rounded
Hmm.
edge in this situation. But they don't necessarily. The Jets don't need real router. They need somebody that can be a difference maker, and the difference maker, especially at two, I'm getting somebody that's a pass rusher at two, not
Yeah.
a rounded guy.
Yeah, because I think some of the other stuff you can coach up for sure. Like
Yeah.
you can coach it up. And this past offseason, New York Jets did a haul of their staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how you do that after year one? That is crazy.
I mean, shit. They said the results. I mean, the results was bad.
I mean, it
So
makes sense, but damn.
yeah.
It's just crazy work, man. We'll see what the Jets do. Got a couple picks, well, a nice amount of picks throughout this draft, and we'll see where David Bailey falls because we know it's rumor hours. There's a lot of rumors, people trying to entice the Cardinals to trade for select Jeremiah Love. Maybe that's something to force people out there to say, hey, we know you might take them. We want to trade up with you. So it's rumor hours right now. You even heard, bro, before we move on to talk about Keldric Faulk, did you even hear about the damn Bills GM joking about somebody putting a out pitcher on somebody so certain people can fall to the Bills?
I ain't surprised.
I'm paraphrasing here. This is not a direct quote, but the man said, hey, if somebody wants to pull out a gas mask or create AI photos, bro, what?
Funny
It's
as hell.
crazy. But hey, let us know how y'all feeling about David Bailey. And do you guys think if the New York Jets should draft him at number 2? Now we're going to move the conversation on to another pass rusher who's relatively young, played at Auburn, and Keldric Faulk. Is he a hidden gem? Ugh. 2024 with Auburn as a sophomore, he accumulated a total of 45 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks. He played the same amount of games last season, but had a drop off with just 29 total tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. I'm a bit weary about that. But Steve-O, do you believe that Keldric Faulk is a quote unquote hidden gem?
Not really. Um, it, he's a guy that like NFL body. You see him, you think NFL. You see his what he did at the combine, getting a 9.9 on the burn jump, a 35-inch vertical for his size. Like he got NFL size. He's long. He has the frame that you want, and that's what give you like he got a first round type of physique. He got a
Right.
first round type of physical traits. But when it comes down to it, the at his position, the stats, especially at the SEC, do not show.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like I don't know. Maybe he just tried to bit off more he could chew. Cause I mean, I get it. He an Alabama kid, so he wanted to stay within state and play with the best. And I mean, you got to be some type of good to get scouted and get a scholarship from an SEC school, regardless of what SEC school it is. But at the end of the day, like he ain't done throughout his 3 years at Auburn because he did all 3 years there. Like there's no season that stands out to me at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it's one of those guys where it's like if he could be well, if he could, if he's got a kid that can be well coached and you can mold him into what you want him to be with the type of person he's built, like you can turn him into something. If it's somebody that you can mold into a monster, he can become one. But as of right now, I, I don't see it.
I ain't mad at it, bro. And honestly, I think there's a potential that this kid might fall out of the first round. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
Simply because to your point, the production plus the youthfulness that he has. I don't even think the kid 21 yet, or
Yeah,
he
be
just
20.
made 21. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or getting ready to turn 21. So he's still very young. That's to not say that he doesn't have traits, but for first round draft picks, he
I would
gotta
have went
be
back
able
to
to,
college, honestly.
yeah, because it reminds me of a player from last year, Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
It was a guy that you see all the physical tools, but he was a quote unquote almost guy. Oh shit, he almost got the quarterback. Oh shit, he
Mm-hmm.
got in the backfield. Oh, he almost made the play. And when he played with the Bengals, it was not necessarily that good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not counting the kid out. I think that he could definitely make some moves. You know what I'm saying? He could definitely improve. But I think you will agree with this. He has 7 sacks in 2024. If he would have just followed up with about 9 or 10 sacks,
That's a first round pick. Yeah.
everybody feels a little bit more better about him. So I
But
love the
two,
physical. Huh?
I said, but two though, you was 7-2.
Yeah, that's not good. And you played 12 games. It's not good. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit I would tread with caution on this. And even Steve-O, some mock drafts have him going from 12 to 30. So that speaks volumes on at least some of the, draft analysis, how they feeling about him. They just don't know. Can you bank on traits in the first round? That's something I wouldn't do, but you obviously know that there's going to be some GM that thinks they're smarter than everybody and select them. And it's not necessarily all bad. I ain't trying to crap on the kid because I think he got some good physical traits. It's just that in
You gotta
college
match it.
you gotta be productive. You have to.
Yeah, it's very few times. It ain't like the NBA where it's Devin Booker's. Or I came off the bench and I turned out to be a star.
Yeah.
No. If you not getting production in college, you most likely ain't gonna get production in the league.
Yeah, the chances are slim. You know what I'm saying? We seen crazier things happen. You know what I'm saying? I think he still has a place in there, but I think this is if you take him, I think it's gonna be a 2-3 year process. It's not a guy that's
Definitely.
gonna come in and immediately have an impact like a Jared Verse or Will Anderson.
Right.
So I think it's gonna be a longer process. So yeah, we'll see what happens with him, man. Definitely love what the kid can bring because he definitely got some good moments on tape, but you definitely have to be a productive player in college, in my opinion. That's just me, though. Y'all let
Mhm.
us know how y'all feeling about Keldric, man. Keldric Faulk out of Auburn. Is he a hidden gem in your eyes? Let us know why or why not. And then lastly, we're going to switch gears to the actual guys that's partaking in the NFL. And this guy, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, hey, he said pressure is good for 9. JJ McCarthy talking about how the Vikings added Kyler Murray this offseason to the quarterback room. Not gonna read the quote about what he said about Kyler Murray. If you're looking for the article, that's on NFL.com. But he did say this about JJ McCarthy. He said, and quote, and then for JJ, for somebody to enter that room with that type of ability, talking about Kyler Murray, that type of talent, he's got to step it up a little bit. So it's good for him to feel that type of pressure and to really lock in a little bit and say it's either now or I'm going to take that back seat again. So it's all a competitive mindset when it comes to these type of things. So it's all about who's ready for that moment and who's ready to step up and take that initiative. And quote, Steve-O, how you feeling about Justin Jefferson saying that this pressure is good for JJ McCarthy?
I ain't told no lie. I mean, pressure gonna break pipes. If you can't go out there, I'm pretty sure they're gonna give them equal opportunity. Y'all first gonna get first team reps. Somebody gonna get some second team reps. Y'all gonna share the pie. And if you beat them out, you beat them out. If you don't beat them out, you don't beat them out. That's been the nature of this business for the majority of the league. And I just think that, especially, I'm just grateful he's not one of these wide receivers that want to, hide behind things, not say what it is. It is what it is. Like, he had a point in his career where he's doing his job. He's been doing his job. Now he wants results. And he felt like what would give him his best results is competition because he's seen it. If you can beat out this man regardless of what you did in the past, your past picks, what you was, it don't matter. If you come in this training camp and you're better than him, I feel like you give us the best chance of winning. And he ain't lied to him. If anybody feels any else, if JJ feels somebody else, quite frankly, you shouldn't be no damn quarterback.
Mm-hmm. You got to go out there and compete. That's what it's all about. I don't give a damn. We playing tic-tac-toe. I want to
My
win.
mama.
I want to win. And I feel like Justin Jefferson, he deserves a lot of praise for how he handled last season. We heard all about A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
We ain't heard nothing
say,
about Justin
JJ
Jefferson.
ain't reading no books.
We ain't heard nothing about Justin Jefferson. Yeah, the frustration started to show a little bit towards the end part of the season, but for the most part, justified, and for the most part, he was supportive of JJ McCarthy the whole entire time.
Never threw him under the bus.
And Steve-O, it's a big ass slap in the face when you had Sam Darnold in the year he's gone. He go cash in on what every NFL player dreams of, and that's winning the Super Bowl. So it's a big slap in the face. So he definitely calling it. I respect it because he calling it how it is, and he not being disrespectful. He just being honest.
Mm-hmm. That's literally what I'm saying. He's being extremely blunt. He's being extremely honest, and he's being extremely professional with it. Because we've seen plenty of wide receivers around this league do it completely wrong.
Yep. Come on, man. With that turmoil, he still put up 1,000 last year.
I don't know how.
Part, like you said.
I'm about to say they need to give out an award for him and people like him and Ashton Gentry, because I just don't understand how they did what they did last year.
Yeah, bro, it's absolutely crazy if we being real with it, and it's nobody else to look at but the damn quarterback, because KOC can coach and Brian Flores is a maniac. So, like, bro. Right, so I'm with Justin Jefferson. Hey, you got to go out there and compete. You want the job, take the job. If not, it is what it is. Because I know what Kyler Murray can do, and that same thing goes to Kyler Murray too. He got to show up and show out. Mm-hmm. So, hey, may the best man win, man. Just don't win against my team. For real. But hey, man, Steve-O, you got anything left?
Nah.
Hey, man. We got the draft coming up here shortly. We will be live on draft night all through those days. It's going to be long days, but it's going to be all for the love of the game, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great things to talk about and break down. Definitely recapping some stuff here. And y'all make sure y'all lock in, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel, man. More good things on the way around the NFL for us football fans, man. We can't, the season can't come any faster, but we got to go through the steps in the process. But hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And you already know we're going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
This has been a presentation of